The Messerschmitt 323 was born out of necessity. In the year 1940, Germany was preparing for Operation Sea Lion, the planned invasion of Great Britain. The Wehrmacht needed an aircraft capable of transporting heavy equipment, tanks, artillery, even hundreds of soldiers. That is how the Messerschmitt 321 glider was created. But it quickly became clear that towing such a giant required extremely powerful aircraft, like the Junkers 90 or the unique Heinkel 111 Zwilling, a twin fuselage aircraft made from two connected Heinkels. The glider proved impractical, so Messerschmitt engineers added engines, transforming it into the 323. The first prototype took flight on the 20th of January 1942. Mass production began in May of the same year and continued until April of 1944. Between 201 and 213 units were produced. Sources vary on the exact number. What made this aircraft so unique? Let's start with its construction. Imagine a machine with a wingspan of more than 55 meters, a length of 28.5 meters, and a height of over 10 meters. Its fuselage was built on a steel framework, covered with fabric and supported by wooden elements. The high-mounted wings provided enormous cargo space, up to 108 cubic meters. A front-loading ramp allowed for easy loading of heavy equipment, while the multiple-wheel landing gear, 4 wheels in the front and 6 beneath the cargo hold, enabled landings on unpaved fields. The aircraft was powered by 6 French Gnome radial engines, each producing between 990 and 1,164 horsepower. Earlier versions with 4 engines proved too weak. With 6 engines, the plane could lift up to 43 tons, including 12 to 16 tons of cargo. It could carry between 130 and 175 soldiers, 2 trucks, light armored vehicles such as the Marder II or the Sonderkraftfahrzeug 251, or even 150mm howitzers with towing vehicles. However, heavier tanks like the Panzer IV exceeded its limits. Despite its impressive capacity, the aircraft had significant weaknesses. Its maximum speed ranged from 235 to 280 kilometers per hour, and cruising speed hovered around 210. That made it an easy target for faster Allied fighters like the Spitfire or the Warhawk. Its fabric skin was vulnerable to damage, earning it the nickname Patchwork Bomber, as bullet holes were often covered like bandages. Defensive armament was initially minimal, but later upgraded with 20mm cannons and 13mm machine guns, still inadequate against enemy fighters. The 323 was heavily used on many fronts. In North Africa, it delivered supplies to the Afrika Korps and evacuated wounded soldiers. In May of 1943, one aircraft set a record by transporting 340 soldiers. On the Eastern Front, it delivered fuel, ammunition, and even bombs to dive bombers, but its slow speed and large size made it an easy target. A dramatic example occurred on the 22nd of April, 1943, over the Strait of Sicily. Allied fighters, including Polish pilots from the Polish fighting team, shot down 21 out of 27 giants, despite a fighter escort of Messerschmitt 109 aircraft. One of the most unusual stories happened in Roztoche, Poland. In either 1942 or 43, partisans, likely Soviet, shot down a 323 with an anti-tank rifle. After an emergency landing in the village of Losiniec near Suziec, German troops tried to repair it, but eventually burned the wreck. A piece of its wing was later used by locals as a footbridge over a river. Another tale comes from the year 2012, when a wreck was discovered off the coast of Sardinia. It had been shot down on the 26th of July, 1943, by a British Bristol bowfighter. The Messerschmitt 323 Gigant was a marvel of wartime engineering, but its flaws, slow speed, engine trouble, and vulnerability meant that by the summer of 1944, none remained in service. Not a single complete example survives today, though a fragment of one wing is preserved in the Luftwaffe Museum in Berlin. This is a story of ambition colliding with the brutal reality of war. Thank you for listening, and see you next time in another tale from aviation history.